little bit. I mean, look, that was a lot. How much money does Cat get if he gets all NBA?
It's like $32 million extra.
I mean, that's,
I mean,
even for Scottie Pippen, that's real money.
Anthony Davis still could get hurt.
Don't say that out loud. Miss finishes. Russ, the steal, and then... Yeah, that's not
the basket move.
Good.
It's been a hard shooting season for him. You'd think this would be to help his shooting percentage. And
boom. I don't know. With the way Russ operates, though, I do feel bad for the rim. I think the rim should, that's a great look, by the way, out of him. He does have, an incredible sense of humor about himself that I really appreciate.
Not that the media.
I'm not saying that he's not sensitive, but I feel like he sort of embraces it all, and it's all out there. I appreciate that.
Okay.
I like that about him. There you go. And I would not want to be the rim next game. All right, make messages. We have more bats this time.
What's going on here?
In Indiana.
No. Don't touch the bat.
Dude.
Don't touch the bat.
Did you try to kick the bat? Which, by the way, is not something you should do. But I think maybe the bats are trying to tell us something.
I think the bats are gigantic NBA fans, and they want to go to the games.
This is the fourth time this year bats have interrupted an NBA game. Now, obviously, we're used to them in San Antonio, but this is Indiana. And the Spurs Coyote apparently has to come over to Indy and get his net and
stay away from the
Manu and yeah, there you go. Miss boredom. DeMar DeRozan making Evan Turner fall last night, and the bench had a little fun with it. And they're like, yep, right there.
West spot.
Exactly. Did you ever do something like this, Pep?
No.
There's some great bench reactions.
I don't shame people for playing defense, Rachel.
Look at this. You have a basic misunderstanding that there's a difference between, we played defense wrong, being something that we...
Again, do you want them to just let them go, or do you want them to move their feet and occasionally trip?
I'm just saying those aren't the only two options. I played defense poorly versus I played no defense shouldn't be the only two options. There's a third option. You are sitting next to one of the greatest defensive players of all time. He did not do stuff like that.
I don't shame people playing defense. I don't shame people trying to block shots at the rim.
This is professional basketball. It's stuff that you can be good at. All right, it was a busy trade deadline day in Philadelphia. Sixers GM Elton Brand. By the way, Elton said what he learned at the trade deadline is don't let your kids grow up to be general managers. It's stressful. Sixers adding Tobias Harris, shipped out former number 1 pick Markelle Fultz, and he was clear. Win now mode. Go Elton.
The window is now. Our opportunity is now. So once I saw that window, we discussed taking a shot at it now because who knows how long this window is going to be open.
Have you been given assurances by ownership that you will do whatever is possible to bring them back? It'll be an expensive core.
Oh, absolutely. I've gotten all assurances from the managing partners that we can bring them back and sign them for what we need to sign them for. A lot of things, of course, have to happen before that, but we are all on board to keep this core together long term.
Scotty, it's so interesting. This is a team that was about the future, the process, the future. Do you feel that this is finals or bust for them basically right now?
Well, I think that it's finals for a lot of teams
right, in
the East because the East is wide open. Let's be honest, the team that come out of the East will be new to the finals for a while. Other than being the Celtics or Toronto, they're the teams that's really played in the Eastern Conference Finals the last few years. But anybody else, it's going to be new ground. And I think Philly has set themselves up to make a good push at it. Defensively, I feel like they're the best team in the East. And me, being a guy that played defense, I feel defense wins championships. And I think Philly has some pieces there that are very valuable. Embiid can be unstoppable at times. I think Jimmy Butler has given him that closer. So I feel like this is a time for them. I think they can be a team that make it to the
it's
finals.
remarkable. Elton just got this job, I think, in September. He has totally put his stamp.
Yes.
He's like, this is his team now.
Yes.
And I respect it. And I also respect him reading the marketplace and sensing it's time to go. I do think it's a little bit dangerous, though. Look at how tight the standings are. The 76ers could have a great season, could play really, really well. And a call here, a sprained ankle there, a shot falls here, and they're home in the second round. It's really tight at the top there.
But here's the thing. The only people that they have to convince, if that happens, let's say they lose in the second round. Let's say they run into Milwaukee in the second round or Boston or Toronto and they lose in the second round. The only people they have to convince that this core has promise and that it's worth it are the managing partners. And then they can turn to Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris and offer them more money and more years than anyone else. And I appreciate that Philadelphia has read the room and basically looked at last summer when they had a max cap slot and nobody was interested in taking it. And they look at this summer of 2019 free agent class that everyone's touting. And by the way, there are already 9 max salary slots open on different teams set this summer. That's musical chairs. I keep saying this. There are not going to be enough chairs for all these teams to sit in. And they sat there and said, oh, we want the early and better shot at Jimmy Butler. We want the early and better shot at Tobias Harris. We're not in the game of trying to convince KD and Kyrie Irving or Kawhi Leonard that they have to come here. So if that happens, if in the second round something happens or there's an injury or a bad call, as long as, and you heard Elton say it, we're committed to paying everyone, we're willing to go into the luxury tax, and those guys are willing to be given more money, then they can keep going with this and be a contender, if not this year, then next year.
Totally fair. He said, I really want to get to the conference finals. And I was like, but what if you don't? You know, it's dangerous to put
Want
that.
to. I mean, I
think
that's
it's
not that high
probably
a
3 or
goal.
4 teams in the East thinking they're getting to the conference finals.
I'm not saying we will get to the conference finals. We had a general manager this morning that we will be getting to in a later segment who came out and made promises on his team's behalf, which is unusual. I think he said we want to get to the conference finals. So there you go. Coming up, Anthony Davis, still a Pelican, despite the Lakers' best offer. Is Boston now the front runner to land AD? And will AD be playing? Brian has scoop.